where they just did not go for any of the objectives or kills and still won a game. But we're starting off with a Sunny Lion map choice, and they are taking us to Infernal Shrine.
Yeah, Towers of Doom and Volskaya Foundry are shut down, are banned, so we could maybe go to Brexis. My hopes are still high. I still want to see a game on good old Brexis one day. If China can't do it, who else can? But for now, we're going on to Infernal Shrine, so nothing out of the ordinary here. Soa on the right-hand side in the reds, and Sunny Lion in the blues. So Soa, as we said, they played a lot of Tracer lately. Tracer, of course, was changed a few days ago, so she now has a different playstyle. She's not really as bursty anymore on the bombs, on the pulse bombs. So she relies more on longer skirmishes right now, with her harder-hitting auto attacks coming into fruition.
Yes, we see Garrosh and Hanzo immediately removed. Malfurion picked up first. We once again start relatively standard, just going through our sort of ban buffer of 4 or 5 heroes in general.
Yeah, that's already more than we had in 2017 when it was always Tassadar. Remember those days? True. Tassadar bans, Genji bans almost all the time. So I think in terms of banning right now, we're actually in a fairly healthy spot. Some teams will go for Maiev bans still, some teams will go for Junkrat bans, and then of course there's always a little bit of target banning depending on which opponent team you're facing.
Although I do expect we will see Phoenix jump into that spot when he finally makes it into special play, if we do not have number reductions to him. You know you can solo a core, just without minions.
Yeah, I can see that with the shield gain on your auto attacks, I think. Oh.
Exactly, full attack speed, teleport reduction on cooldown reduction on abilities, teleport attack speed. At level 20, you can just kill a core on your own without barely even losing your shield.
Seems good. No, Phoenix, of course, is a very strong hero at the moment. Oftentimes banned in both Team League and Hero League. We're pretty sure, Tetra and I, that he's going to receive some sort of protest treatment. But yeah. Anyways, so Greyman comes through. We see Sonya and Stukov for Sunny Lion. I'm very glad about this opening for that draft. So already, maybe they are going to slow themselves down a little bit. Maybe they're going to start drafting normally here and Klong on the Diablo. He was one of the few support tank players that were once very comfortable on playing that hero. By now, of course, things have changed with strong showings by Misaka on SBT or Kaitu from KT. Diablo has actually found his righteous place in the Chinese halls, in the Chinese meta.
Yes, he has. He's looking very strong right now. And as such, a very solid hero to deal with heroes like Sonya. If you can interrupt that whirlwind, you're going to have a good time. Now then, what are we going to see in the bans? Both teams already have a sort of vague outline, but are fairly flexible in what else they need to pick. Soa, though, they're still into Solar later. We'll probably see potentially a Malthael ban coming in here. It's also pretty decent on this map. It's going to be Genji being hovered over, though. Potentially some squishy assassins being thought about by Sunny Lion.
Yeah, you normally wouldn't even consider a Genji ban if you wanted to go for a very beefy draft like Sunny Lion did in the previous games. So you do have a point there, I agree. Genji, of course, is one of those heroes that normally is quite hard to catch for a Stukov, right? When you play Stukov, you want to make sure that you ban those, or at least shut down those hyper-mobile assassins by picking them yourselves. Because heroes like Tracer, Genji, to some extent even Illidan, although he's not really part of the fixed meta, they can oftentimes dodge your Lurking Arm quite easily. They can dodge your W as well, and as such, it's much harder to lock them down. Even Junkrat, of course, belongs in that category because of his long range and the safe interrupts.
That's correct, and Junkrat still available for both teams here, so we could potentially see them steal that away. Like you said, him being able to outrange could be reasonable, so we might see Soa ban that out. Something that would annoy Malfurion, burn through a lot of his mana very quickly. Could be a very suitable ban here for Soa.
2 seconds left on the clock, and it's going to be Jaina. Okay.
Alright.
I mean, they do have Jaina on the Jaina. That was basically a target ban right there. Sunny Lion do have a player called Jaina, a very strong ranged assassin player, and he likes to run the Jaina quite extensively, and he normally performs quite well on her.
And it's a decent map for it. Killing off all those shrine minions with the big AoE ability Jaina has is a significant amount easier. A little bit closer range than heroes like Gul'dan or Kael'thas. And say again, sorry?
Tetra, don't pick a third warrior now. ETC Sonya, that's all you need. Okay, whew. Dodge the bullet here, Sunny Lion. Now,
You think this will stop them?
maybe. Oh, right
they
now
picked away
their
the
triple
Tychus.
warrior attempts are with 0 success. They lost
I mean,
every
they
single
picked
game.
away the Tychus. That's the biggest counter if they wanted to go triple warrior.
No, they
Except maybe Malthael.
don't you give them any bad ideas, Tetra. They have suffered enough.
They can't hear me. It's fine.
All right, so on the other hand, what do we have left for SOA? They could very well just go the Falstad route. They are a team that relies very heavily on the Falstad. They've done so successfully in the past. Are they going to do it this time, or are they going to go for something a little more standard? They could also go for a Soul Laner still. Leoric is still available. Blaze is still available. Malthael as well. Blaze has actually fallen off so much in popularity ever since his bunker change. And only SBT seems to be the team that still relies on him.
Exactly. So let's see what they do. Medivh, and the Junkrat comes in. Exactly what we were talking about. It's pretty good against the Stukov. It was let through. So as such, in comes the Junkrat and the Medivh, causing so many teams so many issues recently. Let's see how well SOA are able to pull it off. So now, Sunny Lion, how do you deal with this? How do you deal with this kind of protection? My vote: take a leaf out of our previous games, KT's book, and go for maybe a little bit of damage over time. Get some tick damage in there.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't hate it. Ticking damage, poison damage, whatever you want to name it, is great against Medivh. It will persist while the shields are active and then continue to tick after the shields are expired. By the way, this is a very CE-esque pick here for SOA, right? They are almost going for the exact same style that CE used against SPT yesterday with the Medivh, the Junkrat, the Malfurion, so...
the Diablo.
Diablo as well, yeah, very good point.
If it ain't broke, although CE did not use a Diablo, they used Garrosh and Stitches. But if it ain't broke, do not fix it. And this seems to be the strategy here. Sunny Lion just bringing out the Falstad here. No triple warrior. Kendrick is more pleased. And they have another assassin who... a little bit less burst with the current build, so actually going to be a little harder to proc that arcane explosion on anyone that isn't Sonya. So not terrible here by Sunny Lion. They're not going to be instantly blown up.
Yeah, so I'm much more in agreement with the draft that Sunny Lion came up with this time. As you said, no triple warrior shenanigans. They probably understood that this is not the solution to bring back the victories to them. And as such, they only rely on ETC and Sonya, which is fair. And then for the damages, they are going to rely on Tychus and Falstad. Now, Falstad, of course, can be used in a variety of ways. You can have him as a burst mage, although that has become almost a non-factor in HGC China. We almost exclusively see this as marksman. You can play him as that sustained range auto-attacker, which, especially against Diablo in the addition of Giant Killer, can be very good. And then, of course, you have tools available like the Mighty Gust to buy your time a little bit, to buy your team a little bit more time, especially if you think about the Medivh Diablo combo, Tetra. Leyline Seal into Apocalypse, that could very well be the panic button they need, the Mighty Gust, to prevent any follow-up damage.
That could in fact be the case, assuming you can dodge that ability yourself. For now, though, we are heading into the game, and Sunny Lion are on the left. Power Stukov Jaina on ETC. Feed B on the Falstad. Twilight on Sonya, and first playing Tychus.
Another cheeky roll swap, just like that in the blink of an eye. SOA here on the right-hand side, though. They have Fei on the Medivh. Goji plays Malfurion. TY plays on the Junkrat. Klong on the Diablo. And Sorry on his go-to hero. Back on the Greymane, finally. But we're going to have to mention this roll swap. We normally don't go crazy or too crazy over them. But I do not understand. Jaina used to be quite a good ranged assassin compared to some of the other players in their team. Sunny Lion certainly at the bottom of the table, but Jaina always seemed to me like the stablest, the most stable of players they had in their roster. So for him to swap it over to the main tank now, something must have happened.
I mean, I don't even have the worst of issues with burst on tank. That is just a strange pick here. For now, Jaina tries to pick up the first kill. Nice killer instinct, but not able to burn down Klong.
Alright, so first, the former main tank. He was struggling, admittedly, so maybe Jaina was like, you know, okay, first you're struggling. Do you want to play the assassin role? let me take over on what, in my personal humble opinion, by the way, is the hardest role to master in competitive Heroes of the Storm. Not necessarily in casual play, if you're just a Hero League or Team League player, but I think in competitive, where so much depends on good engages and good peeling, I think the main tank role is the most difficult one to master and play well.
Completely agreed, especially seeing as it's usually the tank role that ends up being some kind of shot caller, unless there is a specialist or a split pusher on the team. Medivh, annoying me a little bit, going for that extra movement speed, I believe that talent is.
Yeah, that's the celerity.
Yes, the celerity here, as Tom says hello. Realizes that he's a little bit outnumbered, now realizes he isn't, so he's going to wrap around, and immediate power slide by Jada. Jada's so quick at the reaction so far, impressive, but still takes a lot of damage from Sorry. Klong still wants to interrupt here, just battering around the mercenaries, and Falstad arriving gives the numbers advantage over to Sunny Lion, and Soa give up the cap.
Yeah, good disengage there by Soa, realizing that with the arrival of Falstad, the balance of power was definitely tipping towards Sunny Lion in a 5 versus 4. So they're going to deal with this mercenary camp, but that's exactly the place we want to see a little bit more from Chinese teams, right? Unlike KT in game number 1 in their series, where they committed to the boss despite having so many disadvantages. So it was just disengaging. They were not willing to sacrifice themselves as a unit over just a mere Impaler camp. They dealt with it easily, and as such, remained in the game without too much of an early game setback. Here comes the charge, the fling over into the roots, but ETC is too tanky to be taken out.
Once again, these are some of these kills could have actually been achieved if you had the Portal Mastery, and this is why I don't like the celerity or even the regen, because the Portal Mastery gives you so many more opportunities. This is covering for personal mistakes. Like, this one I prefer to the regen talent. I will say that because it gives you better map rotation abilities, because you can fly faster. That's obviously quite nice. But the Portal Mastery is so good for team fights just due to the amount of control it gives you.
Yeah, Portal Talents, of course, at level 1, 4, and I believe 16. Yeah, 16. They have very nice inbuilt synergy, right? The Raven Familiar, then you have a longer duration and a shorter cooldown at 16 as well, which allows you to gain even more value from the Raven Familiar. But it wasn't even picked up, so Fei definitely has a different build in mind. He doesn't even focus on portals whatsoever. Now going for the Dust of... what was that? Dust of Clearance. Appearance theory.
Yes, so Dust of Appearance instead of the Raven Familiar. We're seeing the Celerity instead of the Portal Mastery, where he can place both entrance and exit to the portal. Confusion for myself, but he's clearly just going to be spamming out those Force of Wills and doesn't intend to drop too many portals. However, we do see Malfurion go down with a portal right next to him, as Sorry has to roll to freedom here, and Force of Will, only a short duration, and this is where the damage types of Sunny Lion really come into effect.
Sometimes those ragdoll animations just get me all excited because Malfurion was just getting absolutely kicked out of our vision. Beautiful again. But up to this point, Stukov and Sunny Lion, they have a very easy time, you know, keeping their composure. Not really too much threatening damage coming in for Soa up to this point. But of course, Malfurion taken out early also was responsible for their demise at this point, so they're going to have to be a little more careful. Strong damage, strong single target damage by Graven though, so this Punisher should be dealt with quite handsomely.
Punisher down, only one tower taken out, second one dropped a little bit low, so like you said, dealt with very handsomely here. As we see, so with that very effective cleanup, Sonya is already in top lane though for Sunny Lion, soaking them some more XP, and as such, they still have a very slight XP lead.
Here comes ETC, Jaina going in with the engage power slide, but it's quite low on mana. So longer skirmishes, longer battles cannot be fought because they do not have the power of the Innervate that Malfurion has. So yeah, should sooner or later get back, take a sip from the healing fountain, and then maybe get back to action.
Full tank Sonya.
Sorry, what was that?
Full tank Sonya, by the way. Toughest Nails Battle Rage Life Funnel coming in here.
And that, you know, that I like, because she's certainly going to have to build a little tank here, because the damage potential for Soa in the mid-late game, once the Arcane Explosion goes live, once the double combos for Diablo go live, she's certainly going to need every ounce of survivability here if she wants to hold the front line next to ETC. Picking up Diablo, by the way, rooting, throwing him back, and Tychus ends up falling. Beautiful kill. Medivh actually getting the kill. Medivh hasn't actually died yet, so Fei should still have a pretty good number on his Arcane Rift stacks.
We do not have the ability to hit tab and see them though, as such, due to the fact that we are casting from a clean feed. Buffet continuing to ever so slowly stack up.
You know, that's something that I missed, Hector, because I watched you and Grubby cast the Open Division yesterday, and you were having so much fun with all the numbers. I think, what was it, the corrosive bile on Zagara?
Yeah, having a bet on if she would complete it.
Or the bile drop? No, it was the bile drop, I think.
Yeah, bile drop's tab name, sorry.
Oh.
And of course, keeping track of Medivh stacks every time. It was basically my job, but every time Medivh was nearly dead, because Grubby has to keep the camera on the fight, it's my job to hit tab and just see how many stacks he has, just in case he loses them. As level 10 is hit by Soa, very shortly followed by Sunny Lion. Leyline Seal not going for that polybomb, but it's the Leyline APOC combo. Here we see Sunny Lion slowly locking in, but being very patient, which is a good plan here. Here's the Leyline. Gets the bow, but the Odin timed so perfectly the split second that he was spawned there, but the mosh pit for the turnaround attempt, and Sunny Lion making a 1-for-1.
The Lions are pouncing back. Look at Jaina go in with a 2-man power slide, and the knockback was on point there as well. Here comes the Riptire, but not enough to save Malfurion. The Odin is absolute relentless, and the two players that swapped the roles, First and Jaina, definitely becoming the shining superstars in that team fight. First of all, Master Set, by the way, completed.
Nice.
First of all, we saw the Odin, as you said, Tetcher, preventing the Apocalypse Stun from going through, because in that short time window, he remains unstoppable. And then, of course, with Jaina just power sliding it in and schooling the remaining members of Soa, that was not too bad of a team fight for the underdogs, for Sunny Lion.
I think this might be worse having Jaina as a tank, because that makes it even more confusing. And Jaina uses the mosh pit. I think there might be a bug. Nope, it's just a play in it. As Jaina is looking for Klong here, but not able to lock him down. Klong able to survive. Everyone from Soa is back and alive and on even levels. So they're very willing to fight over there.
Now, of course, we still can't track too well which heroic abilities are on cooldown and which ones aren't, due to some issues with the UI, but it's safe to say that Leyline Seal and Apocalypse should still be on cooldown, so the two most impactful ones are not available for Soa. However, here goes Wildlight, completely separated from this team, buying a couple of seconds, but this is now terrible for Team Sunny Lion.
Yeah, less than ideal there. Falstad, with all the best intentions, attempted to gust the members of Soa away right as Sonya got Shadow Charged, basically meaning that Sonya got Shadow Charged and was still surrounded because the gust just pushed everyone with her. So she went down, Punisher is picked up by Soa, and they're going to push it to the mid lane.
Yeah, not really the mightiest of gusts, rather a puny gust. That would be an amazing ability name. Somebody come up with an idea on an ability and what a puny gust would do.
Yeah, not sure. There's different acronyms for gusts. This is a mighty one. An ambitious gust. As we see Jada, nice power slide, preventing Klong from getting any kind of follow-up. And Stukov has been left quite unattended here, allowing to get this very good zoning silence. And with the Odin popped as well, this will be defended by Sunny Lion, but the fort was still picked up by Soa.
Yeah, and another fort was actually picked by Sunny Lion. The bottom, Falstad actually continuing his shady business down there, using his global capabilities to the fullest. But Soa is very well aware of this. They're like, you know what, if Falstad is playing a game down the bottom, we're going to play our own game on the top half of the map, stealing away a fallen shaman camp. With the help of that, they're trying to maybe take down the top fort. But Falstad, he's not letting go. He's forcing TY on the Junkrat to teleport back all the way, because I'm pretty sure Falstad was already attacking the secondary defense lines of Soa in the bottom lane.
He absolutely was, putting pressure on, but Soa now in a 4 versus 4. Putting pressure onto that top 4. Power slide lands onto Klong. Face melt, not enough to cut off his escape route, and doesn't force Medivh out of portal mode. One tower down in the bot lane. Feed B has been doing some good work down here, but Junkrat being down here now will give them a little bit more time.
The top fort is actually still standing for Sunny Lion as well, so double success for them, weakening the defenses of Soa in the bottom lane just a smidge and saving the fort for now, which is amazing. However, the next shrine is going to activate in top lane as well. So mercenary camps there will be of the essence, and Soa actually grabbed the fallen shaman already, and with the help of that, they should be able to maybe finish what they started earlier, to maybe destroy the fort. But Falstad, he knows what's up. He knows exactly what he needs to do. He's trying to prevent the mercenary camp from doing exactly that. Here goes the Impaler camp. Klong, is he brave enough to step on it? No, he's not. He realizes that they weren't really fully assembled yet.
Easy portal move, though, to get everyone out safely. They continue the rotation. Mercenaries being cleared by both teams. Falstad, as you said before, the one attempting to clear top lane and keep that fort alive. Sora rotating between 2 lanes. Luckily, they actually have to worry less about bot lane because it has so much further to push, so they can rotate a little bit safer here and just let that push up almost all the way to their tier 2s and then take it out then with the next minion wave.
Oh my goodness, and as a former Warcraft 3 player myself, that sound effect on the Dust of Appearance, that rings a bell. That brings back good memories.
Job done. As we see the Impalers. I know also Warcraft 3 sound effects. I did like 3 as we see them pushing in. Jaina forced to back up here. Klong still a little bit scary. He's once again finally got that percentage damage on the Shadow Charge, so he's going to be looking to build up stacks with that.
All right, Jaina, look at how cheeky the Mighty Cow is moving towards the enemy team. He's taunting them. He is luring them into maybe going for a reckless engage, only to then maybe drop a mosh pit or 2. For now, though, all heroic abilities should be at the ready. And Soa is already rotating up there a little faster than their opponents. But I think if Falstad is on the move here very quickly, if he manages to get towards the bottom keep in time, he could actually try to put even more pressure on it. But nope, he already moves towards the middle. His flight does not have global range. It is considered a global, but sometimes it is limited by the overall range. Here goes Lane Unseal. ETC is isolated. Here comes the Apocalypse going okay. Ley lines in the back lane, but the Marsh Pit killing Medivh. He got schooled by the cow.
No one else went at the portal, and as such, Medivh got isolated. Twilight dropped super low, but the silence from Stukov prevents Sorry from going in for the kill. And that's just going to make this a 1-for-0 in favor of Sunny Lion. And with the Odin popped, this objective is almost certainly going over to them as well. Yeah.
Now the Odin basically tells Soa it is time to go. Without their prophet, without Medivh at their side, who was busy dancing in a party at Karazhan, it seems. You know, they can't really do anything anymore. No more leyline seals, no more portals, no more shields. That was just so well played by Jaina, anticipating Medivh's every move.
They were able to take him down with great ease there. The portal went down. No one else came through it. And Jaina even just set up on the other side anyway. She was set up for, he was set up for the mosh. But no one was reacting to it. It's an easy kill. Medivh is back, but it's 33-12. This would have to be an incredible raid to prevent the objective being taken here with the Gust being used. That's going to be it. They're going to grab the Punisher. Now the question is, what else can they get here? As Klong is just getting absolutely beaten here.
You know, so
that's an interesting portal.
So what was that? Why did he even re-engage? Wait, Klong is still alive. I don't even know how he got there. Must be some demon magic.
He went through the portal, but it was to a really weird place, but it worked.
Sometimes if you drop a weird portal, it's going to be hard for the enemy team to anticipate where it's going to be at. Klong now needs to bait the Punisher over the wall. There he goes. The only target who can really do so. The rest is too squishy. Deep shields on point. Can they save the keep? I think they can, but Tetcher, once again, such a questionable move by Soa. Why would you even go in? Oh, they're catching Falstad mid-flight, and they even get more members in round 2.
They were not able to interrupt the flight, looking for Jaina as well, but the flaming swipe and questionable engage. Fly makes you unstoppable, so they were far too late if they wanted to actually stop him flying away there. You could hear that little explosion of sound effect happen. Then Falstad was already gone. Oh! And a beautiful gust separating out Sorry, but that is going to be the disengage for Sunny Lion here. They even just let Jaina just tank the Riptile.
Oh, the Sunny Lions, they look like a different team today, and Soa just continues to look miserable in everything they do. They look a little unfortunate here. They're really trying hard to make these Leyline Seal Apocalypse combos work, and while they do get a couple of stuns off, the execution afterwards is just not what it needs to be. Mostly, though, because I think ETC, Jaina, is having an absolute great game here. Probably the best showing up to this point in this phase. Ironically, not even on his main role.
I still think he's had some really, really solid Jaina performances and one really solid cooldown performance, but he is certainly looking like a natural on this HGC today. So as such, very impressed indeed. Also, that top 4, speaking of very impressed, still alive. Medivh scouting it out, looking to see if he can pick it off, while the rest of Sunny Lion, once again, pressuring that bot lane that Falstad opened up earlier.
Now, although there were so many unfortunate moments here for Soa in this game, right? Although they couldn't really execute their battle plan to the fullest efficiency, they're still doing an admirable job to when it comes to staying close and experience, right? Diablo Klong now trying to make something happen. Here goes Medivh, and with that double domination, he takes out the Birdman, and this is now Soa's moment to shine. Looks like both teams are racing towards the opposing keep, but no, actually Sunny Line is losing the staring contest. They are willing to defend first.
In a 4 versus 5, with Volstad dead here, ETC looks for just the immediate mosh pit. Will get it onto Rhaegar, onto Greybeard especially, but the ley line will neutralize that for a little bit. Apocalypse hits many members. Riptire is good. ETC is down. And now Soa, their assault continues. Their mercenary camp is beginning to expire, but the minions are on the way to tank that keep.
Catcher, ETC just continued to dance after the Leyland Seal was over, actually locking him in place, making him an easy target for the Riptire to explode mercilessly on the cow. So yeah, that was unfortunate this time for Sunny Line, although super well played by Fei Yi, making up for some of the early game mistakes he had. And now with the Arcane Explosion ready, it's just going to be a much easier time for Soa to take those fights. The Circle of Protection, right? AoE protection feels good. The Arcane Explosion proccing multiple times. Oh, this is Medivh's time to shine.
Yes, it is, and this is their opportunity. They've also managed to give Diablo time to shine, but good silence. Hey, PB's back, and he does not want to be here. He is surrounded, actually, getting closed in on from every angle. Portal is used to keep Fei alive as well. FB though, movement speed on the barrel roll at level 16, able to escape. Very nearly caught himself out though.
And that is, of course, the big boon that Medivh provides to his allies. Someone gets gusted because the gust actually looked pretty sweet, right? Isolating Medivh. Here goes Klong, by the way, with a double combo. So much percentage damage, and Jaina almost falling to the might of Soa. But yeah, the foils are able to save someone who got isolated from a gust. In this case, it was actually Fei Yi himself. So one portal to shut down and heroic ability feels good, man.
No one was even close to low enough. Actually, I think Tychus might have been, but ETC easily in position to just distract that and tank that tire as the Punisher is picked up by Soa.
Yeah, the Riptire wasn't even needed. It was just for good measure to make sure that none of the Lions would be daring enough to still contest this shrine. Here goes the Purple Punisher. The Arcane Power, as he likes to pronounce it, is now unlocked.
Diablo looks for Jaina once again. They managed to find Sonya instead, but Whirlwind able to get herself out of the immediate danger. First, Odin online, looking to try and defend his base here. With 2 keeps down, this is going to potentially be a core attempt. As first, eats those Punisher hits, but pulls it all the way up to bottom keep, all the way down to bottom keep here, buying his team some time as the core begins to be assaulted. 3 catapults here, Kendrick.
Yeah, 3 catapults, the Punisher, and the whole might of Soa are now crumbling upon that core on Sunny Lion's side here. By the way, the Punisher didn't even take the bait. It was not attacking the bottom keep. That's what Tychus had anticipated would happen, but it didn't happen this time. The Leyland Seal keeping the defenders at bay, and Soa is going to snatch that game away from the Sunny Lions, and they looked so good while doing it.
And that is going to be Soa 1-0 in